India's Ministry of External Affairs is set to reply to questions in Parliament on the country's response to the recent attacks on Hindus and other minorities in Bangladesh. This comes after External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar met with Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday to discuss the situation in Bangladesh. In the Indian state of West Bengal, demonstrations were held to protest against the arrest of Hindu leader Chinmoy Krishna Das, associated with the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, ISKCON. Protesters marched to the Bangladeshi Deputy High Commission demanding immediate release for Das and also chanted slogans against the atrocities being committed against the minorities in the neighbouring country. Amid the attacks on Hindus and an attack on Hindu temples in Bangladesh, ousted Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina in a written statement attacking the Mohammed Yunus interim government says the current power grabbers are showing failure in all areas. She says that she strongly condemned these tortures directly and indirectly on the common people. ISKCON priest Chinmoy Krishna Das sparked protests in various locations, including capital Dhaka and port city of Chittagong. The Hindu community has been calling for his release and justice for the Hindus who face persecution since the ouster of former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. ISKCON also released a statement clarifying its position and support for Das's rights and also support for religious rights in Bangladesh. Hindus in Bangladesh constitute about 8% of the 170 million population. The community has faced over 200 attacks since the fall of the Sheikh Hasina government. Amidst the unrest, a temple was also targeted by a mob in the port city of Chittagong. In a statement to the Parliament on Thursday, Minister of State for External Affairs Kirti Vardhan Singh highlighted these troubling developments and reiterated India's call for ensuring the safety and security of Hindus and other minorities in Bangladesh. Assistant Editor for Foreign Affairs, Siddhant Sibal, is now joining us live on the broadcast. Siddhant, thank you so much for joining us. What can you tell us about this? India's Ministry of External Affairs is set to reply to the questions in the Parliament as well. What can you tell us?
Well, essentially, there are parliamentary procedures and every ministry of the Indian government responds to questions on a specific date. Now, when it comes to the Ministry of External Affairs, that's a foreign ministry, it responds in the upper house, that's the Rajya Sabha, every Thursday, and in the lower house, that's Lok Sabha, every Friday. Now, essentially, at a time when the situation of the minority community, especially the Hindus, is not very good. This is something that is concerning for the members of the civil society and also that translate to the lawmakers. So several lawmakers yesterday raised the question, and today also several lawmakers have raised the question from the Ministry of External Affairs asking what is the position of the Indian government. We saw that yesterday the Minister of State in the Ministry of External Affairs, Kirti Vardhan Singh, responded to the situation of Hindus in Bangladesh and expressed concern and pointed out to incidences of how there have been attacks on temple. Also remember that today there will be a briefing by the Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson. That's a weekly briefing. So do expect a lot of questions on the situation of minorities. And we know that in the past the Indian government has expressed its concern. So definitely this is one of the top agenda, top stories here in India, and this is something that will be closely watched in Dhaka as well, because we know that last time the Indian government reacted over the arrest of the ISKCON leader Chinmoy Krishna Das, there was a strong reaction by the Bangladeshi government saying that it's an internal matter of the country.
All right, well, Siddhant, thank you so much for bringing us the latest on this. We'll of course continue to track this closely.